And now to more of our continuing coverage of the deadly prison standoff in Smyrna.
A former prisoner at James T. Vaughn Correctional Center is speaking out, saying last week's hostage situation didn't shock him.
The former inmate saying if people knew how bad the prison conditions were, they too would understand why prisoners acted out. Here's 47 ABC's Julian.
It's unsanitary. It's not livable.
That's Jason Towers speaking about the conditions in Building C at the James T. Vaughn Correctional Center in Smyrna, the same building where a hostage situation arose last week that resulted in 4 correctional employees being held captive and one of them dying. Towers spent 5 years at JTVCC, a majority of that time in Building C. During the hostage situation, it was reported that the inmates' list of demands included concerns over living conditions, better training for correctional officers, and more access to programs and education. Although Towers got out 7 years ago, he said he wasn't surprised at the list of demands because prisoners wanted the same things while he was there.
I done seen COs over there spit on him. I done seen COs smack him in the back of the head.
Towers says the verbal abuse and physical abuse from correctional officers led many prisoners to resent them and in turn act out. In an email to 47 ABC, though, the DOC denied allegations that physical or verbal abuse ever occurred. But Towers says if that were the case, then inmates would not have acted out the way they did.
We get chartered the living conditions, so we have to take it upon ourselves. I mean, we're not going to buck for just nothing. Something has to be wrong for us to be doing this.
Towers says Building C is one of the oldest buildings and the one in the worst condition. He says inmates are forced to share cells that are only big enough for one person and that Building C is constantly overcrowded. He adds that even though it says online JVTC offers several programs to rehabilitate inmates, those programs aren't offered. Another reason inmates get fed up.
They need to redo C building or tear it down. They need to have more jobs, schools, programming.
The DOC again denied those allegations of a lack of programming, saying they offer inmates the chance to get their GED and take some college courses, as well as learn trades such as HVAC, electric, and culinary. Ultimately, Tower says the DOC should use last week as a wake-up call and take a serious look at changing the way things are done. Otherwise, he says, inmates will take notice and get fed up. Once that happens, he says, it will only take a few frustrated prisoners banding together to start another riot or hostage situation.
And that's all it takes is one or two to have a voice to opinion, and everybody else going to ride with it because everybody's tired of the conditions over there. They don't offer you nothing.
Julian, 47 ABC.
Now, as part of the investigation, the Department of Corrections is reviewing what led up to that situation last week.
And as we mentioned earlier in the newscast, Governor John Carney plans to initiate an independent investigation into this incident that he says will explore the immediate and underlying causes of that hostage incident.